What is going on, everybody? We are here. It is time. The moment you've been waiting all off season for. The recruitment raffle, as you can see. Well, that wasn't supposed to pop up on screen, but the recruitment raffle is here, and we also have the drafts for season number 8. There we go. Now we can see our faces. Thank you, Krippus, for that. He's helping us out, but guys, we got a hype night here. We got me, Psycho, Jaegers, Irosa, a newcomer, all in the booth. So we'll swing it around. We'll swing it around, introduce everyone. But before I introduce everyone, a couple quick shout outs for resubscriptions. We got Dan coming back for 10 months. We have Nixoy coming in for 12 months. Happy birthday to Nixoy there on the Nemesis channel. And yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff going on. We got a lot to talk about. With the Provisional League draft, which some people are probably like, "What the heck is a provisional?" We'll talk about that. But first, let's swing it around here. Psychonautic, the man, the myth, the legend, back in the booth. Psycho, how are you doing on this fine night?
Friggin-tastic, my dude. Ready to get into season 8. It all starts right here with this draft. The lower leagues right now and the higher leagues tomorrow, but I am excited, Rocker Man.
Yeah, no, I am excited as well. It's gonna be a fun night. We also have another guy back in the booth. He's been around for a while. He's looking fresh as always. We got the Jaegers back in the booth. Jaegers, how's it going tonight?
Austin, another day, another dollar. Ready to get this draft underway in this season shortly thereafter.
For sure. It's good to have you back. And we also have a newcomer, last but not least, in the booth. We have Irosa making his Nemesis debut up here with us. How are you doing tonight, Irosa?
I'm doing all right. I cannot complain. I'm excited as my first debut on camera. It should be fun.
Yeah, definitely should. We're glad to have you up in the booth here, joining us here for the provisional draft. So we got a lot of things to talk about, everyone. Before we kind of get things going, obviously, if you're just tuning back into Nemesis for this season, you're probably wondering what the heck is the Provisional League. Well, Nemesis has grown since the last time we've officially been doing league play related stuff besides the draft lottery, of course. So we have 6 leagues now, and the Provisional League is that first one, which we'll dive in a little bit more into that. But we have Provisional League, we have the Novice League, and we have the Prospect League all going down tonight here. So a lot to be told and a lot to see. But first, let's move back to where we were before. We got to talk about the recruitment raffle. So as many of you guys know, the recruitment raffle was happening in the off season. You recruit a player, you get an entry to this wheel that you now see on screen. And another dollar gets added to the base prize pool. So we started with a $20 base prize pool, and then every person that was recruited after that and signed up for league play got another entry and another dollar in the pool. So we have a $67 recruitment raffle, which I know Psycho and Jaegers, you guys were around last season. Well, Psycho, I'll throw it to you. I mean, that's kind of crazy. We got 53 different people that were recruited just from people doing the recruitment raffle, just for someone referencing their name here.
Yeah, that's pretty huge, to be honest with you. 53 people, $67. Somebody going to be taking that $67 straight into their pockets from the recruiting. And hey, that's good. I got a quick question real quick for you, though, Rockerman. Did we shout out these people that just resubscribed like just a minute ago?
We did give them the shout outs. So.
I have one shout out I need to give, though, real quick. Okay. To Chops. I just wanted to say to Chops, what I would do to make you feel just like this. All right, let's go.
Thank you, Psycho. Thank you for that.
Worth it. Definitely worth it.
No problem.
A little improv, but like Psycho said, this thing is gonna go right into someone's pocket. You recruit someone, you get another entry on this wheel, you get another dollar in the prize pool. So some people put in some work in this off season. So we are gonna spin this wheel, and whoever it lands on is gonna take home the $67 there for recruiting people in the off season here. Shout out before we do that, shout out to Crispy Waves for 5 months for Psycho's singing, of course. But yeah, let's roll this thing. Let's do it. Let's see who's taking home a crisp $67. There's a lot of people on there with multiple entries, and let's see who it's gonna land on. It looks like it's gonna be Dolphin Puck taking it home there, and Dolphin Puck taking home the $67 there for the recruitment raffle. Shout out to him. Dolphin Puck they also recruited the most people as well. So you recruit more people, you win. I think that's well deserved. Got, I think, 8 different people into the league. So Dolphin Puck taking home the $67. So that's one way to start things out.
That's one of the best ways to start things out, I gotta say. But I'm not surprised because Dolphin Puck was on there like out of the 53 people, I think he was 45 of them. I'm just saying. Like, Mans did a lot of recruiting. I'm not trying to shame him in any way. Shout out. Well-deserved money, sir. Thank you for bringing as many people into Nemesis as you did this season.
Yeah, and shout out to everyone else too. Everyone else that was able to bring some people in. So
Nah.
yeah, well,
no,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
You do a little troll in there.
Little.
But yeah, we gotta get things underway here. I guess we'll talk about the Provisional League draft here. Shout out to Rogue coming back for the 19 months, and Ultimus Rule coming back for 5. People hitting the resubs. Much love here, and we're breaking triple digits on viewers, which you love to see. So shout out to everyone supporting us. We'll see if we can break the record. The record was 148 last season. So if you know some people, get them in here, and we'll see what can happen. So. Why don't we get things underway, guys? We'll talk about this league as things go on. We're in the Provisional League to start things off. You can see rounds of 1 and 2. There's a lot to see here. And starting off, Jaegers, we got our a 6th league for the first time since season 3.
No, it's crazy, like seeing how far this league has come. Starting out from season 1, I believe it was only 3 leagues, and then went from added a 4th, then a 5th, and now a 6th. So it's really crazy how far this league has come. And I mean, it's nice to be able to include a lot more players. I believe the lowest MMR is now Diamond 2, if I'm not mistaken, that we're allowing into this league.
Diamond 1 now. So
Diamond 1, let's go.
Down to 835 MMR. So yeah, a lot of new people into the league here, and yeah, we're gonna have to see who's gonna be the number 1 overall pick. We got a lot of new GMs too. Maybe we can give us a rundown of the teams here. Rosa, if you have the GMs and the teams pulled up, maybe you can give us a quick rundown of all the new GMs, because we got new GMs for the Provisional League. There's 8 teams in the Provisional League. We got 3-man rosters, which we didn't even get to talk about. And yeah, there are a lot of new GMs there, Rosa.
Respect each and every single one of these GMs, especially Dubs. He was my old GM last season, and KN. Both of them did a wonderful job. I'm really excited to see what they can do for the Provisional League, and a lot of these other names such as Rockerman, Dan, Cream, Crippist, Bubbly, and Fly Penguin have all have great potential to a new and upcoming team, especially for the first season of Provisional.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, we got a couple of new GMs. We got some old GMs here, and we got the first pick on the board here. The Jesters on the clock already, and they're going in. They're all ready to go here. Bubbly Reaper and the Jesters already on top of this. They are going ahead, and they are going to select Lasagna Man, or is it Lasagna Man? I don't know. It looks like lasagna, but spelled differently. So Lasagna Man is the first one off the board there, Psycho, and he's going to the Jesters to start things off.
Yeah, and regardless of if he wants to be called Lasagna Man, that's what it is. You're right; it is spelled the wrong way, but that's a good thing. Lasagna is really only second to pizza. Like, pizza is amazing, and lasagna is almost as amazing, but it's a little bit harder to make. You got to spend a little bit more time. So pizza's like streamlined. You just want it straight in your face. I think it's a good pick.
For all that we know, of course.
I love lasagna, so I love that man.
There you go. He's the first one off the board, so congratulations to Lasagna Man. Whatever we do or do not know about Lasagna Man, he's the first one, so well deserved. The first ever Provisional League pick as well. So this draft going in snake format because it's a new league. We get teams 1 through 8. going in a snake order, so that's what you guys can kind of see on there. So Jesters, they have number 1 pick, they have number 16, and then they'll pick again at 17 as well. So they're in a decent spot, and they're going to go ahead with Lasagna Man there. So we'll see what that does for them. We'll see what that does for them. I think that's 1185 out of their roster there. So starting things off with the 1185, I believe he's at the top of the list. So
I mean, in a list of unknowns, like to kick off a new league, you have to pick up the highest MMR player. That only makes sense. And it looks like coming number 2nd. I'm not sure if that was a mistake on the provisional league. No, it looks like Mold Raiders are going to select Crispy, the provisional test rat. So
that's a great nickname there, Provisional Test Rat. Considering it is a testing league, So there we go. Crispy. Well, Jaeger's right as you say that about returning players or new faces. You get a returning player moving down from Novice into the Provisional League. So that's how it goes, I guess.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, last season in Novice, Crispy was one of those players that got boosted up to the 1,000 MMR range, like kind of grandfathered in. And it looks like this season he's been putting in the work all the way up to 1173. So he's looking to make waves in this new league.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what he can do here. It'll be interesting. Irosa, I know we've seen a lot of different people. We see a lot of newbies in the draft. We see a lot of old people in the draft. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? You think we're going to see a lot of new faces dominating Provisional? You think the old faces are going to kind of show everyone what's up, or what do you expect out of this?
As it's a brand new, I feel like a lot of the faces are going to be taken first because they know what to because the AGMs or the GMs, know what to expect from them. However, these new people that we've seen could be huge sleeper picks. Like a player from the bottom of the list could probably be one of the best players. We just don't know it yet because we haven't seen them.
That's true. There are a lot of unknowns, and with the MMRs going down so far, I mean, who knows? Who knows what kind of diamonds in the rough? And that's what you gotta love about the draft league. Is you never know who's gonna make their name known from unknown to a name known. So you never know what can happen throughout the season. And we've got a couple of picks coming through on the board here. We actually got 2 of them as these teams have been going quick. Agility on the board, and that's a big C-Dubs. Big C-Dubs team there. They're going to go ahead and select Cowtarded, and then Dissonance is coming back, and they are selecting Bradish on the board there. So Cowtarded and Bradish off the board. Jaegers, any thoughts on Cowtarded? I know you were in the Evolution org with Cowtarded last season, or any thoughts on Bradish as well?
No, I mean, Cowtard was a player on Genesis. I believe we picked him up later on in the season. But, I mean, he performed well. I mean, Genesis just at the end, it was a losing season after maybe like 7 weeks. So they did what they could. But, I mean, there's no way they were making the playoffs. And Bradish, if I'm not mistaken, he's a new player. I'm not quite familiar with the name. It's a great name, though. And, I mean, the number 4 pick could be looking to make waves.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone have any thoughts on these last 2 picks? Psycho, maybe have some insight on any of these 2?
On the Cowtarded and the Bradish?
Yeah.
Bradish, I actually don't know Bradish at all. This is the first time I've seen his name, or at least the first time I'm recognizing his name. Cowtarded, I think everybody knows Cow. He's been in the league for multiple seasons. I want to say since like season 4, maybe even earlier than that. It's interesting to me that he's in Provisional because I know he's better than Provisional, but I also know that he doesn't really play ranked. He plays a lot of casual. He plays with some friends that are lower ranked than him. So rank's not really a huge thing to him. So I, seeing him down in Provisional, I kind of understand, but at the same time, he's going to be a heavy hitter in Provisional. He's going he's going to do everything he can to run the table. And if a team's not careful, he might be able to carry in that league.
Yeah, that's true. And I as the GM who's now on the clock for Uprising here in the new Provisional League and having Cowtarded on my team last season, I would have loved to snag him back again. but unfortunately didn't fall all the way down to me. And yeah, Bradish, a great pick as well. He impressed in the combines, which it's good to impress in those combines. Good to show up. Good to be active. It does get you noticed there. As Bradish and Kautarda go in, and also Wolfpack here. This is Dan's new team here down in the Provisional League. They're going to go ahead and select Stawify there for Wolfpack, and that's going to put me on the clock. And I think I know what I'm going to have to do. So normally I'd have you guys speak for me, but I also have an idea of where I want to go with this pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and select Django's Joestar there at 1133 off the board. That is my first pick there, and I guess I'll back up the reasoning quick, and you guys can talk about Stawify and Django's. But Django's was active in the server. He was there at the combines. He was one of the few that stayed throughout the combine. So I noticed him, and he was talking to me a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll get that guy. So here he is. Now he's heading to Uprising, my org. So I'm happy to have him on board. So
Austin, I don't mean to expose you, but I know the real reason you drafted him, and that's because he has a great name. It's just a phenomenal name, and I can't wait to cast in this upcoming season.
I do like that. Name there. And hey, you know what? It's all about the name sometimes. Sometimes you get a good name. I know we always talk about it. I feel like every season it comes up, It's sometimes the GMs is like, I don't really know who to pick here. I like your name. Sometimes that's how it goes. When you get to the end, usually that's more so the case, but still. Nonetheless, Django's Joestar, I like it. And yeah, it's looking good there, and that's gonna put the goats on the clock here.
I think to answer the pick with Staw. Staw is actually a very solid player, especially for the provisional round or for the provisional league. I got the ability to play with him in one of the 6-mans actually, and I'd gladly say that he should be higher up if it weren't for his internet, because I've had the exact same issue, and I understand where he's coming from in being stuck in such a low rank because of his internet. And it was always an issue for me. Hopefully it gets fixed for him, and we'll be able to see him in the higher up divisions next season.
Interesting. I wonder how much of a risk that is, for Dan. I know Dan's one of those guys that's very calculated, Irosa, but I wonder if he knew a lot about that or took that into account. You have to wonder.
But, I was playing with him, he was hitting flip resets left, right, and center. I can't even do that.
That's actually pretty crazy. Provisional flip resets? That's actually a little bit wild to think about. Although I don't know, we were pretty. I mean, maybe flip resets are just becoming the norm nowadays, because I don't know. That's just how things are. The ranks just keep getting better and better, or maybe I'm just getting worse. Maybe that's just how it is.
I don't know. It's happening to all of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all of us. We're all getting worse.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But next 2 picks are in, though, guys. We got the goats on the clock here. Cream's new team there. They're going with NJ111 for their pick. And then the Fallen Angels, they get actually, they are not on the clock again. Their pick is already someone messed up my draft order.
Oh my goodness.
They decided to change it on me. But that's all right. We've sorted that, so they're not on the clock, but they do select Gederson here, or Gederson.
Gederson.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but I saw him in the league the last season. And he's back for another run here.
Yeah, he was in the Novice league last season. Nothing spectacular coming from Gederson. I'm sure, not saying he's not a good player. Just he was, no player of the weeks. He was never the guy that you heard getting talked about. Maybe he'll be able to make a pretty good name for himself down here in Provisional. We'll have to see. I'm interested because Fly Penguin. I know Fly Penguin. He's a pretty good guy. So seeing him, anybody he picks, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get interested in who this person is. So hey, maybe Gederson is going to shine this season.
Yeah, and I guess something to note here as well. I know we talked about this briefly, but we're trying a lot of new things out in the Provisional League, and these are only 3-man rosters, so things are going to be crazy. It's the first time we've ever done 3-man rosters in Nemesis. So a lot of testing's going on, new GMs, new roster ideas here, and this is actually the first team with 2 players because Fly Penguin, being the GM, he gets automatically placed on his own roster, uses the second round pick on himself. So that's why he's not selecting again. But now we get their Irosa. We have Getterson, however you pronounce it, and Fly Penguin on the roster. So they've got 2 people already on board, and I think that puts them. What does that put them with MMR? They have 11-16 remaining, so even some room to figure out what's next.
Not gonna lie, I feel like Fly Penguin could have the best of it here for the Provisional League, as he is a GM himself in this league. He played with other people. He is played with just a bunch of random people to see how well he can work with other players. And because it's his own team, he has that ability to make it around him if needed. I feel like that's where he could have the upper hand in Provisional.
For sure, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me. It's my turn to get on the clock, so I got to do some number crunching now that some picks have been taken. I got to figure what I'm working with. So,
just go highest available, Austin.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever it is you're working with, it's the wrong move. Let's be real.
Surely nothing will go wrong if I go highest available, right?
Nothing.
Right.
Could ever go wrong. Who's even the highest available right now?
It looks like R. Blake 8.
R. Blake. Yeah. Hey, man. I've never seen R. Blake play before, but I bet he's the one that wins you the Provisional chip.
Well, Austin, this may be controversial, but you got to go with the Cool Socks pick, I think.
Cool Socks is a good pick. Like, people want to sleep? Mm-mm.
I'd say Cool Socks is a sleeper.
He's a sleeper. I'd get him if I was
Definitely
Provisional. 100.
I'd have to disagree with that. Everyone knows him. They know his potential. I'm pretty sure he beat a Titan in a 1v1 at one point. I'm not going to say the Titan's name. I don't want to expose anybody. But, I mean, Cool Socks is a phenomenal player and been known to pop off from time to time.
You're gonna have to see. I'm debating. I've got a couple of ideas here.
Flip a coin.
Should I flip a coin? That seems a little bit risky. It is a test league, so I mean.
Hey, no. So what you do is you flip a coin, and then you look at it. And if you're disappointed, go with the other one because you didn't want that one in the first place.
Is that how it goes?
That's how I do it.
That's
every major life decision, I do that. Flip.
Or you could flip the coin, and whether you get heads or tails, you just pick Cool Socks.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pick Cool Socks anyways. So.
There we go. I knew it. We all know
there it is.
There you go. They did. I was considering it. There was another option I was considering, but I decided to go this way. So Cool Socks is coming to the uprising here for the upcoming season. So I got Cool Socks, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what Cool Socks can bring. Being a former novice, but I'm Django's and Cool Socks. We'll see. Could be a deadly duo down there. Who knows?
Yeah, but just looking, is Savage the team name? I'm sorry, I missed that whole thing. No, it's Wolfpack on the clock, and I'm trying to see Savage. It looks like they're picking Savage 11:47. 11:37. Excuse me. He's already on the roster. You're way too late, Austin.
Well, I cannot find him in the Discord, so okay. That is a bigger issue. That is a bigger issue.
You want to find him?
Semantics.
Yeah. Well, if he's not in the Discord, they probably shouldn't be drafting him. So
someone didn't do their job. It was me.
Who would that be? Who would that be, Psycho?
It's the only one I missed was Savage.
All right, let's see if the mods can find this Savage guy. Mods, save us. Mods, save us and find Savage. I cannot.
You're saving Dan.
Save Dan. Save Dan right here.
I'm sure Dan did his research.
He probably did. I hope.
The Dan plan.
The Dan plan. We're checking on Savage, so bear with us for a second. But we're moving into the second round here. So there's only 3 rounds. This draft should go by pretty quickly. We're more than halfway done here at the moment. So Well, let's take a look. What are some names out here, guys, that you guys are looking at? Maybe Ivers, maybe you can tell some names that are still on the board that you're kind of looking for here.
BMAT is a very popular player. I can't say if he's really good or not because I personally have not seen him play, but I know his popularity in the server. It surprises me that he hasn't been picked up quite yet, to be honest. As the former GM of Storm, he has that background and he knows how to assist with helping a team. So I feel like he, if not a player, would be a great what's the word I'm looking for? Assistant.
Oh, captain.
There's a lot of great names I'm seeing up there, Austin. Man of the Hour. Let's see. Cyclone, Smiler, and Zverns, a Genesis legend, Austin, if I do say so myself.
Oh, there we go. We found Savage. He was just not nicknamed correctly. So there he is. He popped up now. We got Living Savage 1. So there we go. There you go, Dan. Savage exists, so we're all good.
Dan.
That's all right. Psycho will take the hit on this one. If you want to blame someone, blame Psycho. Go yell at him or something. Go yell at him. So yeah, we got him in there now. So he exists, and now that'll put Dissonance back on the clock here. This is KN's team. So Wolfpack now here is gonna. They've gotten 2 people on the roster. They got Staw and Savage here. And we got oh my goodness, I was not looking at the side here. We got a bunch of subs coming in from Rogue, and also Biscuit gifted a 1 month to C Money. Alpha coming in for 9 months, and then Rogue just gave out 10 gifted subs. Shout out Rogue. We love Rogue. Rogue's a great guy.
Rogue is a G.
He's a G. He's a Don.
Number 1 pick in prospect later, actually.
You think so?
Well, no, he's picking. He's drafting.
Oh, I was gonna say that's impressive as a GM if you can select yourself as number 1.
That'd be wild. It's probably not the best strategy.
No,
I would say, but
I don't think so.
It would be interesting.
Nor possible. It's not really possible, but we can make it possible, I guess. We really wanted to. Might have to. But there we go. Also, Grebsy coming in for the 3-month sub. Shout out to Grebsy there. Whelps was on Whelps last season. I don't know if they're still on Whelps. They may have moved up to Wyverns. But shout out to them. And the pick is coming in here. Dissonance. They're going for someone with the default profile picture on Discord. We got KAV0706 off the board. So interesting there. I think they just got recently added, but they're off the board here on this one.
I'm trying to find them on the roster.
Oh, did I make another mistake?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
He's on Dissonance 11-13.
No, he's there. 11-13. It looks like Dissonance does have a good range of players, like 1182, 1113, and another player not far behind in 1083. It looks like potentially. I mean, it looks like it could have a well-rounded roster right there.
Interesting here. And I guess one thing to note too about this provisional league is there's a lot of cap room because we opened it up so low. There's a lot of cap room at the higher ones. Hopefully, encouraging those lower MR people to kind of make that push up and get into the higher MR. So you go from a sub to a starter, and that's kind of the hope with the boundaries is those lower players, they can grind a little bit, get onto a roster at a higher point, but. You've got another pick coming in here. Agility is going to go ahead and select Cheesemon.
That's
or Chessmon. He's missing an E there in the cheese.
No, it's perfect. Austin, that's what you can call French. That's how you pronounce cheese in French. Don't quote me on that, but I'm right.
Don't question it.
That he's right.
He's got to be right. No one fact check him, but for sure there. I did see that name quite around, and it pays to be active there in the server. As I know they were active at least a little bit, so they made it in there, and that pick's going to go their way, and that's going to put the Mulderators on the clock. Psycho, what do you think of that name? The Mulderators coming in here in the Provisional League with Crippist.
Well, I'm glad that you threw it to me, Rocker Man, because I just wanna say something about the Moderators. I'm gonna look you dead in your eyes, audience. The Moderators are cursed. It doesn't matter who they pick up, they're gonna lose this season. That's all I got to say.
I don't think Cripp is going to take too kindly to that.
I've already told him.
That was bold.
He's giving us some he's giving us some banter there behind the scenes. Crippus is.
Look. If you're on the Moderators, you don't just want to win a chip. You want to prove Psychonautic wrong.
Ooh, there you go.
Look, that's a little extra motivational, at least in my opinion. You know, like take that and run.
That's true. I respect that. Hey, you got to take all the motivation you can get. If you can stick it to the man here, this high caster, you got play-by-play of the season many times in a row. You know,
management member, by the way.
Management member, by the way. New management member. Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations.
As if they needed another reason to stick it to him there, you know, to call him a management member and, you know, got to show him up there.
Do I hear jealousy? Is Rockerman jealous that I'm the only liked management?
Whoa, wait, now.
Holy.
I think you're going to offend some of the other managers now.
Okay. There's more of us that are liked, but
you better calm down.
Yeah, Mitch is liked and Squirrel's liked.
Management ratings win. Management ratings win.
That's a good question. Ask Mitch.
Post in the hub.
Oh, my bad. Rogue, we love you too, Rogue. My bad.
Let's hear your top 8 managers and why Rockerman is number 1, of course.
Rockerman's number 2.
No, that would. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure. Well, all right. I appreciate that. I guess.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's keep going. We got a pick in. That helps us here to round out round number 2. As you guys see, rounds 1 and rounds 2 on the board there. Crim Reaper is off the board, and I am sad because I would have loved to draft Crim Reaper again. A great dude, really chill. You know, he's got a passion for the game. I'm going to miss him on Genesis, but hey, if he's going to go somewhere, it's got to be Bubbly's org there. And Bubbly and the Jesters, well, I guess it's not really his org. They're unaffiliated from the top 5, but going to Bubbly there. Bubbly runs a good ship. He has a good community, so Crim Reaper's going there. And I guess we didn't shout out X Embers as well, who the Moderators drafted. We kind of brushed over that, but X Embers returning from the Crows last season now on the Moderators, and Crim Reaper rounds it out. So there are rounds 1 and rounds 2 on the board. As we've only got one more round remaining, only 8 more picks, and then we're done with provisional. So, Rosa, what do you think here out of that first round before we head into round number 3?
I'm not sure right now. Just looking at the rosters that we have so far, 2 teams that I feel like are going to be the best because it's just what we know of are probably Uprising and Moderators, but I'm really excited for all of these players that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, there are a lot of names, and unfortunately not everyone can go drafted on here, so but you know, we hope that we can get as many people drafted as we can. Just the nature of how draft leagues work, not everyone can get drafted, but usually teams, you know, they'll need new players once the season comes around. I know this happens every season, but you know, people change, rosters change. Someone's going to be inactive on one of these teams, and if you're active, you stick around Discord. You know, people will get you. Trust me, that's for sure. If you're active, they will draft you, and you'll get on a team there. So that's for sure. Also, another shout out here. This is a shout out to the Nemesis channel. We just hit 1,800 followers, so shout out to Nemesis, 1,800 followers. W in my book there. So. We just passed over that, but yeah, that's gonna wrap up rounds 1 and rounds 2. Let's keep things rolling here as we head into the final round of the Provisional League draft. We got the Jesters back on the clock here for their next couple picks here. As we're into round number 3 now on here, and still Jaegers, a lot of names on the board. I know we talked about a couple of the returning ones. What do you think? There's a lot of new ones that are still available there as well.
There are a lot of new ones. Like the one that really stands out to me is R. Blake, one of the higher possible MMR players in this league, still on the board. But it looks like a lot of teams are going for that similar MMR strategy to where there's like they're equally as good. You don't want like any outliers on your team is what it's looking like. So, I mean, who who am I to say that's a bad strategy? You know, I'm not a GM.
That's fair. That's fair. But you weren't AGM though. You weren't AGM, so you made some picks. You got me the number 1 overall pick in Challenger League.
I did. Yes, sir.
That's true. You did do that. So the man knows his way around a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. As the Jesters coming in here, they're going to select Rusty Goat 98. That is an interesting name on the board there, Rusty Goat. But he's going off the board there, Psycho, to the Jesters. That's going to round out Bubbly Reaper's roster there. The first roster to be completely rounded out. And there it is. Yeah, Crim Reaper, Rusty Goat, and I'm looking for the last one. It is Lasagna Man. So you got Lasagna Man, Crim, and Rusty Goat on the board. What do you think? What do you make of those three?
I mean, what kind of stands out to me is
Psycho's muted.
Oh my gosh, this happens to me every time. My fault, fellas. No, I think it's a good round roster. Well, okay. You want me to be honest with you, Rocker Man, or you want me to not be honest?
Of course, be honest with us,
I don't know Lasagna Man and Rusty Goat, so I can't tell you how the roster is going to be. Crim Reaper played on Genesis last season. I think that he's a decent player. I think that he has a lot of room to improve, but I also think that he's got some good potential. And if Lasagna Man and Rusty Goat are, anything along those lines, then they could have a very solid roster right there that might not start off great, but could end in a really good position.
One thing I'm noticing, Psycho, right off the bat is how much cap room Bubbly left on the playing field. That's 78 MMR, and I mean that could be a big difference in a league like Provisional.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's true.
What's more devastating to me is that my boy down here, Wildcats Russ 1986, he's still on the board. That man's a sleeper pick. Let me just tell you, he's been working, he's been grinding, and as soon as we dropped it down to Diamond 1, Wildcats Russ was like, I'm in it, and I'm in it to win it. So somebody ought to pick him up.
Hey, respect. He was active too. I believe he was at the combines, so one of those people that is a possibility there to take a little bit of a risk on. So we'll have to see though. As a couple picks are coming in now, Malderders are gonna go ahead and select Glee Sensei, and then Agility is coming through and selecting Abe KTM, which puts Dissonance on the clock. And they're selecting, oh goodness, let me not mess this one up. Oh, he's already gone from my screen. They're going to select Similarte. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Similar. I think it's Smile RT.
Smile RTJE. I don't know.
Austin, I think you're making it too. That's Smiler. Yeah.
That's Smiler TJE.
Yeah,
you gotta rep it.
You're making it way too hard on yourself, Austin.
Hey, watch. He'll tell us in the chat. He's hyped. He'll tell us how to pronounce his name. I'm sure.
True.
Could just be completely butchering it. Hey, maybe it is pronounced like that. Maybe I'm like that.
I don't think you are.
It's all right.
I don't know.
I think
First time I was shown on stream, the entire series besides Game 5, they could not figure out how to pronounce Irosa. So.
Well,
it's fine.
The thing about casters is once we say your name a certain way, it kind of sticks.
Yeah, it just sticks. And if you screw it up in the beginning, then it sucks.
Well, you can't go back on it. You can't admit you're wrong ever.
Funny thing was, they changed it every single time they mentioned my name.
Different casters, different flows, I guess. I don't know who did that.
This did not work. He's definitely in the chat, but I can't find him in the Discord for whatever reason. Maybe it's FT_. I can't find him. He don't exist, but he's in the chat. What's your Discord name, buddy?
What's your Discord name, buddy? Smiles. Come on, buddy.
Where is he? Where did he go?
My name is always a caster confused.
That's Zia.
Yeah, that's not the right guy.
That's Zia.
You think?
I think
so.
I'm assuming.
I was told it's pronounced Zaya. They DM me and told me.
Oh, here we go.
Well, that's cheating.
Oh, there you go. Maybe I'm good, I guess. Okay, there you go. It worked now. For some reason, it wasn't popping up with his name. Discord's being weird. We got too many people now, I think. Well, I guess we can't say it. We don't have too many people, but Discord doesn't like us anymore because we have so many people in the Discord. They
They're
say,
jealous.
"Hey, you trying to ping someone?" No, not allowed. So it goes, I guess. There.
That's
But,
why. That's when you just ping everyone.
that's true.
You know, it's
I should say dissonance selects everyone. At everyone. Sure, that would go over well.
Oh, it'd go over great.
It would definitely go over great there. Well, there we go. He's on the board there. Maybe I'm good. I guess I like that. That's a little bit easier to pronounce there. So, and shout out to Cooking Bagels, who we'll see for the next draft. He's got 22 months on the board there. So shout out to him.
Let's go,
Coming in there.
Bagels.
Bagels.
Yeah.
We love Bagels. As the Wolfpack are coming in here, and they are going to select Zeverns off the board here. So another player, not really taking a risk with Zeverns. Zeverns has been around the novice range for seasons. Dropped down to provisional this season at 1067, and Dan the man is going to go ahead and snag him up, and that'll put me on the clock here. So I got to do a little thinking.
I gotta say, I'm kind of tired. Sorry, Eggers, but I just got to jump in here because I'm a little bit sad about this Zevern situation. Zeverns was going to be on Ninjas with me in flight, and I think Rockerman specifically changed the MMR ranges to keep Zeverns from my Ninjas team. I just want to put that out there.
He just doesn't want to see you win, Psycho. Like
I know.
Not only did he change the MMR, he created a whole entire new league, so y'all wouldn't be able to be on.
So
the
I
same
can't get a
My
chip.
bad.
So I can't get a chip.
Absolutely, they're just haters.
8 seasons I've been here, I can't get a chip. Thanks, Rocker.
Hey. Who knows?
Rockerman.
Who knows? This season could be different, Psycho. Could be different.
Could be, but I don't got Zeverns now, so
So it's washed.
it's washed.
I'm looking. I was trying to find the solid guy in the Discord, but I can't find him.
I know. I did his name right. I remember Solid. So I'm not taking this one.
I don't know where he is, Psycho. I wanted to look and see how many messages he sent to the Discord. I want to see if he's active, but I can't find him now.
We'll go to the members tab. Remember you told me?
That's true.
So I gotta ask. Since there's only 3 people a team, like what are the free agent rules? Can they pick up any player, or I'm sure it has to be in the MMR to sub in, or what's the deal with that? Since it's an experimental league.
I believe that and I'm new to management, everybody, so cut me a little slack here. But if I'm remembering correctly, you can pick up anybody out of the FA to fill in for you. But unfortunately, if there's no active FAs and you only have 2 people to field, then you got to take the forfeit.
Well, I mean that's the thing. That's what you're looking at. Stay active in the Discord, even if you don't get drafted. There's still a very good chance you'll be able to find a team, or maybe like sub in for some games, get your name out there. So it's not a lost cause if you don't get drafted.
True.
Okay, I've come to a decision here. I've been contemplating some of these players, trying to see who is active. I was debating, but I'm gonna go ahead and select Angel_BX22 with my pick 11-14. We should have enough room. Yeah, we have enough room to put them on the roster. I definitely checked that before I made that selection. But there we go. They're coming to Uprising. So we'll see what they can do here for that one. So that's my pick. That's my roster. We're rounding out. And we'll put the goats on the clock. So.
Wow, that took enough time, huh?
Sorry. I apologize. I had to make sure I got my, I put my 3 minutes in, put in the work. So
I think at one point I saw the 3 minutes reset, but don't
quote him on that.
I don't want to get banned.
It'd be like that.
You want to get banned? I can do
He wants to get banned.
I kind of want to get banned. I don't know.
We heard that last part.
Get banned? What?
Yeah. Isn't that what management does?
They're gonna crop that. They're gonna crop that last part out, and all we're gonna hear is Jaeger saying "gets banned." I want to get banned.
Please don't clip that.
Don't clip that. Don't expose him like that. It'd be like that sometimes, but all right, well, there we go. The goats are on the clock, and they were going to select the person I was going to select. They're selecting Solid, who is going to pop up this time, of course. What's up there? So that is the second last pick, and we've got one more pick still on the board here. It's going to be the Fallen Angels with the final pick of the provisional draft, and then we're going to move into the Novice League for the next one. So we're gonna have to see where they're going, and they are gonna go ahead with their final pick, and they are gonna select Nolly down there at 1050 on the board. And pop up.
This is a
And
little bit
that's
different spelling, and that's a RLCS superstar right there.
it. True. Maybe that's what they're going for. So that's it. That's going to conclude. Oh goodness, if I can spell that, concludes the first ever Provisional League draft. Irosa, I want to throw it to you one more time. It was your first time in the booth. What do you make of this first draft here? Now that things have rounded up.
One thing that I wanted to point out, it's very impressive how Dissonance is at 0 cap room after a draft.
Mm.
Got the perfect MMR for the Provisional League to balance out his team for a perfect total MMR of 3,300.
Yeah, that is
that's pretty impressive.
That's a little impressive. I agree with you there. We've seen a couple teams do that before, where they kind of work it out, and it worked out. It worked out to perfection. Psycho, any scary teams you're looking now that we kind of have things all settled here? Anyone that you're like, man, I if I was in the Provisional League, I would be watching out for this team.
One, I would not be in Provisional League. I'm not that. I'm not garbage.
Okay, sorry.
Garbage.
So I didn't
Wow.
mean to.
Two, there's no good provisional teams. They're all garbage. Three. Okay, number 3. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Don't let him lie to you.
You know,
So
honestly,
he's just kidding. He wouldn't be in Provisional League. He's just kidding. He's kidding about the first 2 points.
in all seriousness, I'm actually kind of excited a little bit about Provisional because, like we've brought up before, in Nemesis and past seasons, Novice has kind of been, since it was the lowest of the leagues, it was sort of a proving ground. You would see people come into the league and in Novice, and they would just jump up throughout the season. They would jump up to Prospect, jumped up to Chally. It was like you could really see the start of some of these people's careers. Some people that are now in Titan started in Novice. So I'm actually pretty interested to see how this Provisional goes. Now, as far as a team being scary, honestly, it's hard for me to say. A lot of these names I don't recognize. I think Crispy Waves on the Mulderators might be able to lead Mulderators to a really good season, except for I cursed them, so they're going to lose everything. Wolfpack is looking pretty good. Anytime I see Zevern's on a roster, I know he's a solid player. He's going to really complement a team really well. Goats have got Lucky. Lucky's the same sort of way I've heard. From what I've heard, I haven't played with him. From what I've heard, he's one of those really solid players. He's in the places you need him to be. He's getting the ball touches you need him to get. And then, of course, Agility, picking up Cowtarded. If Cowtarded can pop off this season, that might be the scariest team.
We'll have to see. And one more thing before we head over to the Novice League. I know everyone's excited to get into Novice League. If you didn't get drafted, as always, make sure you guys stay active because that's the best way to get on a team. Some people, are on these rosters that may have gotten selected could be inactive, and teams may want to change in this first week before the season even starts. So if you're in the Discord, you didn't get drafted, stay active. That's the best way to get on a team. You let people know, type in the chat, say hi, talk to people. Just be a good person, have some conversation with people, and people will see that. GMs will see that, and I know changes will be made. So if you're one of those people that didn't get drafted, you want to get drafted, stay active. Just stay active. That's all. That's really all you got to do, and you'll have a good shot. People love those type of people, and you'll definitely get a shot. So, but that is gonna wrap it up for the Provisional League draft. I'd like to thank Irosa for joining us, and I guess Jaegers too. Jaegers will be back, but Irosa, thanks for joining us here on the first time on stream. It was a pleasure to have you on board.
Thanks for having me. It was an honor to do the very first Provisional draft.
Yeah, for sure. It's glad to have you. And Jaegers, thanks also for joining us. We're going to send you away for this next draft, but you'll be back for Prospect, where we might see you go number 1 overall.
I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. But yeah, I'll catch you on the flip.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We are going to transition over here now. We're going to get Bagels and Penguin on the board as we're about to head into the Novice League.